is it more uncomfortable when it's a whole bunch of hip hop acts, or is it pretty much the same for you guys? I'm just asking.
First of all, blessing to see everybody here. Blessing to be alive.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Noah. Come on.
Oh my God, good to see you. Already know how we do. Let's go.
Come on, you know what it is. Listen.
Sign me off.
First and foremost, being from Money Earned in Mount Vernon, and remember, we just a mile away from where hip hop started in the boogie,
across the street.
Everything we did, I was just knocking at Eddie F's door, trying to get in the basement. His mother was so nice. Come on in, Albert, and go downstairs. There's some iced tea or lemonade or Kool-Aid, whatever we had down there. And Eddie had the speakers the size of something that we ain't ever seen before. And just every day, just making it from one part of Mount Vernon to the basement to go see Eddie, and us cutting these demos for this guy named Dwight, who was played on the football team with me. And, it's just such a culture. But I remember, I'm going to tell you this, before Uptown started, Eddie and I in the basement, we working on some demos. We had a flood that day. And I remember, so now, mind you, what y'all don't know is that I was actually the roadie for Eddie. Eddie's the best DJ in Westchester. And, I made sure I carried equipment, get him to the parties. We do it, we was like on a duo, but he was, he's that guy. Okay. And we had a flood in the basement one day. So it's my job to run and clean up, to make sure the wires, anybody who DJ, I got to get them wires out the water. One day, we just picked up the phone on the wall, and I looked in the yellow pages, and I was looking on where Eddie was spinning, and it said Def Jam. I was like, okay. So I looked in the yellow pages, and I picked up the phone, and I started calling Def Jam. And I kept asking for this guy named Russell Simmons. Kept getting hung up on. Can I speak to Russell Simmons, please? We got this group, Heavy D and the Boys. He was like, what? Finally, somebody stopped. He said, what, the Fat Boys? I was like, no, sir, Heavy D and the Boys. He said, where are you from? What's your name? I said, my name is Al B. Shaw, sir. He said, the hell is an Al B. Shaw? And I said, hold on, watch this. I said, I'm from Money Earned in Mount Vernon. And he said, you mean all y'all bougie niggas who think you from the Bronx? Right. So, boom. Next sentence, sir, who am I speaking to? My name's Dr. Jekyll. I was like, well, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Russell Simmons. So that's the first phone call me and Eddie made before there was the Uptowns. Me and Eddie in the basement doing production. That's how the whole thing started. It's Eddie F and Al B. Shaw in Eddie F's basement with his mother sending food down and cutting demos. So Eddie, if y'all even understood the what Eddie did, just in terms of just gathering the culture, giving us, and I want to give a shout out because Eddie knows how much our mothers mean to us. God rest. Eddie's mother gave us a safe haven to create in the hood. Like, so we would different. Like Eddie, I don't want to embarrass you. Eddie was the cat in 8th grade that was doing DOS. Like he was the smartest kid in Mount Vernon. And he was the best DJ. And so I just wanted to be like Eddie. Rewind between Mount Vernon and having hard times. So my mother moved me to Queens. I was living on 102nd and Northern Boulevard. Riding my bike around the way, looking for fucking LL Cool J. I just wanted to see him. I swear on my grandson. I'm riding my bike around just hoping I see this cat. Because he, that's the man right there. So so between that and then the whole association with Def Jam, knowing that he's the first artist, it was just fascinating. Fast forward circle. I'm just appreciative of being here. I'm appreciative. These are my brothers. Uptown, we tried to make a difference. I remember when we first brought Heavy D and the Boys to Russell, he was like, what's this? What's this singing and rapping? Like, the magic. He got LL, Run DMC, he got Beastie Boys, he's like, what's this singing and rapping bit? So he told Andre, go ahead, man, go do what you gotta do. And the rest is history. So we feel truly blessed that you brought it full circle, sir. Absolutely. And brought us back through and allowed the family to come through. And again, just if you even understood, there's no separation in this. Come on, Scar, right? Listen, my man, 800 grand right here. we up at 50-15 every so often when I come outside. You know, I don't come out much.
Sure.
But as long as when I see your face, I feel at home. You bless me in Houston. You allow me to roam your city.
Nah, man, you welcome, man. This is one big melting pot too now. You know,
Freeway.
Yes, sir.
And hold on, and my man Freeway right here. First of all,
brother.
everybody here. I got association. Kane, the best artist on Warner Brothers Records, like just major label.
Al, every time I see Kane, I gotta thank you, man. Right, Kane. I gotta appreciate that, Kane.
It's always love, baby. It's always love.
Thanks, Kane.
And before I jump off,
Kane always show me amazing
love.
I want
to pay homage. I want to pay homage to my brother Freeway that's here. As you know or may not know, so with this miracle of surviving medical crisis, we'll just say that, and taking it to Congress, and writing legislation for transplant in 4 or 5 states.
Yeah.
But Freeway comes up to New York, has a meeting, and joins us in our fight in Congress to create legislation for healthcare for the communities we come from. So when you listen, anytime you get lemons, forget all that lemonade, make Arnold Palmer. And that's your man 215 down there. That's your man 215 came hard with it and shared the story with all of New York City. We did Reverend Sharpton's NAN convention. He came in, just absolutely blew it up, touched the people. And it's so nice to see people. And, so it was like this, it was like generations. And Freeway came in and absolutely blew up. Just shared his story about having a transplant, things of that nature, where most people, either, mental health is a stigma, having a transplant. Listen, we all go through stuff. We live rough on our bodies. It is what it is. Yeah. So the simple fact that you celebrate your situation, your seed situation, we got nothing but love for you. And respect to everybody.
Amazing work that you're doing too,
listen,
bro.
Short.
Keep the amazing work going.
Short up in that Bay Area, man.
Let me chime in for a minute, y'all.
I started radio on Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose. 98.1 Kiss FM, the best variety of today's old school and R&B. Me and Rennell on Kiss FM.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
Let me. Can I chime in for a second?
Yes, let's go.
Please.
I just want to build on something that Al said. He said word to your grandson?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. His grandson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who noticed. DJ Hollywood just turned 70. So hip hop not only have parents, it has grandparents and it has great grandparents.
Yes, sir.
That's how long this been around. And one thing I noticed is like in music, when I was listening to the Sugar Hill Gang, I was also listening to Teddy Pendergrass, Evelyn Champagne King. Familiar with the OJ's, Osley Brothers.
Right.
What my parents played.
Right.
I was familiar with Little Anthony and the Imperials.
Grandparents.
My grandparents. So, I mean, different genres, different eras. And like, I just think that, knowing that, and then you got cats like Coast Contra, these new cats, and it's being a part of this, joining with us. I think that music is music, and we must continue to respect it that way. Not as old school, new school, but as music. LL said something to me that I thought was amazing. He branded us as timeless.
Say it again. Branded what?
Timeless.
Okay, timeless.
Yeah, timeless hip hop. And I think that's such an amazing title.
Long live the king.
And because that's exactly what it is. Timeless music, timeless art. And we respect each other that way.
And Kane, I got to say thank you too. When we was youngsters, when we was first at Warner Brothers, 1988, right? I was on Uptown. You was on Cold Chillin'. You invited me and my wife, Kimberly, to be in your video.
Yeah, Smooth Operator. Yes, sir.
Smooth operator. Remember that? That was crazy.
Sounds so smooth.
That was crazy. So it's just like that's like what L's doing right now. Reaching out, blessing. You know what it is? Everybody has their platform, and you reach out to another artist that you respect. The fact that he's using his platform to bless everybody here. That's the blessing in itself. Now, you talk about the marathon, man? How do you do this for this man? I know I'm old. I just turned 57. But L, I'm sure you still get carded, King. I don't even think you drink. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But man, but listen, no, just here to say thank you, brother. Just thank you for setting the pace. I remember sitting in a little apartment on 102nd and Northern Boulevard and listening to your music on the box, and just want to be LL Cool J. So that was like, that was a thing in school, and you definitely opened the doors and allowed us to feed our family.